Nearly everyone has heard no matter how good of a cyclist you are in America, it will still be insanely hard for you to compete in Europe. While in the past 20 to 30 years, cycling has been on a pretty good rise in the United States, however, it still lacks some of the deeply ingrained culture you experience in other countries. When you compare cycling culture in the United States to places such as Italy, France, or Belgium, we don't compare. And as a matter of fact, it's really any European country has that matter. In the USA, there isn't that many well-established cycling programs. In places such as Europe, it's the complete opposite. Any age, you're able to find well-established cycling programs, mentors, and people you want to talk to if you want your kid to go pro. In America, I found most nationally ranked teen cyclists started with their parents going on bike rides, not necessarily them pushing them into a development program. While it is still possible for these nationally ranked cyclists in America to go compete in Europe, most of the time they're going to have to get themselves an overseas mentorship to help them do that. Many face challenges in accessing the necessary support and competition to reach these globally elite levels of cycling. A next factor as to why it's really hard for Americans to become nationally ranked cyclists is the infrastructure. If you're a foreigner that has ever visited America, you know how shocking it is to see our infrastructure. It's literally just drivable. Now, this fact completely disregards major cities such as New York, but overall, we are a largely drivable infrastructure area. It's not really walkable. And typically, a walkable infrastructure can go hand in hand with the cycling infrastructure. For most of you Europeans out there, you could probably find everything you need within a 10 to 30 minute walk. For me, the closest convenience store is about 20 minutes on a bike away. So unless you want to avidly ride bikes, you're never gonna really have to ride bikes. To simply put it, the infrastructure is not there to cultivate a national love for cycling. It's more in the likes of fast cars running V8s. Some of you may be out there saying, dude, America has literally the best type of training ground. Due to the massive size of America, you can get any type of geographical challenge there is, and that's even within a simple state. I live in North Carolina, and we have mountains, plains, beaches, literally every type of challenge you may face overseas. With the highs being 6,000 to 7,000 feet above sea level and the lows being a couple hundred feet below sea level, you can get all types of altitude training you're looking for. I mean, shit, it's really what you could ask for. Within a couple hour drive, you can be thousands of feet above the sea level, and on another way, you could go all the way below sea level. But this really plays into my previous point. We are not a cycling ingrained society. Most of the cyclists I see doing these crazy rides or crazy miles are usually in their retired age and are looking for something new to do. The younger generation is looking to throw a football, kick a soccer ball, or try to go D1 in sports. We don't really have a D1 in sports for cycling because it's not really there. Talking on the tangent of that, sports. The sports America is oriented in is football, baseball, soccer, and basketball. Distance sports aren't really a big thing within America, often overlooked. Throughout my high school public school career, I have never gone to any type of sport gathering other than football or maybe a basketball game. Since we are so focused on these two sports, this is where all the money goes. If parents want to donate money to schools, it will almost always go to the football team. And most of the time, cycling clubs just aren't there. Since people aren't really interested in them, you have to get a lot of certifications, waivers just to do it. And even then, it's not really required to. So if you're trying to get a teacher sponsor to help you out to start a cycling club, it will almost never happen. Now, if we look on this on the complete contrary in Europe, dude, they have kids not even out of the womb cycling in a cycling club. In places such as Spain or Colombia, they most likely have a cycling club after school. And of course, we cannot forget France because the biggest cycling event happens there every year. All these countries have really rich cycling traditions that date back hundreds of years. And this all plays in part to help them dominate the global cycling scene. Cyclists from nations like Belgium, the Netherlands, and Colombia have a long history of success in international competition, and this is thanks to their strong cycling culture, development programs, and talent pools. And due to this, American cyclists may find themselves competing against athletes who have benefited from superior infrastructure, support systems, and competition experience from a super young age. And hopping back onto the wagon of popularity, cycling is just not popular in the US. In the United States, cycling competes for attention and resources with popular team sports like baseball, basketball, and American football. Many talented athletes are drawn to these sports from a young age, potentially limiting the talent pool actually available for cycling. Additionally, cycling may not receive the same level of media coverage or exposure as other sports, further reducing its appeal and visibility among American young athletes. If you are an avid cyclist, you may know if you're taller, you have a higher chance of getting better at cycling. However, the way Americans see it, if you're taller, you have a better chance of getting better at basketball. And in Europe, if you're taller, you have a better chance of going to cycling. Complete culture shock, but that's how it is. If you're tall and have fast twitch muscle fibers, you're most likely going to go do football or basketball. But in places such as Colombia, you're probably going to go to cycling. All it is, it really comes down to the culture that's ingrained within each society. It's no doubt the whole world sees America as a meathead society. Just constantly want to hit each other with footballs or tackle each other. Which, coming from a redneck American himself, that's mostly true. The biggest factor as to why it's nearly impossible for Americans to rank globally in cycling It's just due to the cultural factors, but yet it is not impossible. If anyone who competes on a global cycling level watches this video, let me know down below. How did you get into cycling? And if you did watch to the end of this video, make sure to like and subscribe. I post YouTube shorts daily, so if you're into that, hit the follow button, and I'll see you next time. Have a great rest of your day.